And we're going to start our continuing education session number 2. Here's what we got on deck for tonight. We're going to look at penalty area incidents again. We're going to look at some offside decisions, and we will look at misconduct. Again, these are all clips from the games that you are doing. So this is why I love this program, is we can learn from each other. Again, just a reminder, you haven't made it till your clip appears in front of the classroom. All of us can get better. All of us are doing some good things, and we're going to look at both ends of that. So if you do see yourself up there tonight, so what? Join the club. I've had mine up there more than my fair share. So let's just make sure we're using this opportunity to learn from each other, as said previously. So again, we're here to learn. Let's leave the chat alone because we will use that for some activities. And if you have some questions, please hold those questions until the very end. A reminder, our session number 3 is going to be Tuesday, July 2nd. Hopefully most of you are still in town before the July 4th holiday. Some of you will be getting back from the President's Cup and regionals, and some of you will be heading toward the end of the USL, NPSL, and USLW seasons. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So give me 1 second here, and we'll bring up our clips for tonight.
Mark, while you're getting set up, I just want to remind everyone, if you have signed in, please change your name to your first and last name so we know who you are, so we can have an interactive presentation today, as well as be prepared to show your face. We love seeing all of your faces. All right, that's all.
Got it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I may have to stop recording this because I cannot get to my clips unless I minimize my screen. Bear with me here. All right, bear with me here. Bear with me here. Zoom, where are you? Okay, we're good to go now. All right, our first clip for tonight. Let's take a look at this one here. Okay, so real quick, if we look here, referee gives a yellow card for Spa, 89th minute. Okay, so no issue there. But what I want to bring attention to is the second clip here. Okay, let's watch it one last time. And with this, I want to launch a poll for tonight. So let me go ahead and launch the poll. And let's see what your thoughts are on this play. Is this no foul? Is this a foul, no misconduct? Or is this a foul, yellow card? Got 32 responses out of 48 people on here. I'm trying to get at least 4 more responses if we can. And we're going to end the poll here and see what everybody thinks. All right, so we have 8 people on here. Sorry, 3 people, 8% who do not think this is a foul at all. We have 5 people who think this is a foul but no misconduct. And we have 28 people who think this is a foul and a yellow card. So I want to start with a couple of opinions on this play here. Okay. If I could get Richard Wells. Richard, on this play, do you have 100% a foul? And if you do you have 100% misconduct?
Uh, it looks so for me. I have. It looks like he gets his feet caught up in a tripping offense. For me, that's a foul.
Okay.
And with the space and options that he has, the ball's going more towards the corner. So I don't have a dog so offense. I also have this other defender here, able to challenge him for the ball. But with only the one defender back and their options and space in front of him, I have misconduct for stopping a promising attack.
Okay. Achal, if you would unmute yourself. Achal, do you have the same sentiment as Richard on this?
Yeah, something similar. I have more of a I do have a foul here because because the player in white, the tobacco road player, also changes the direction to impede the path of the attacker, and then there's contact. And given, like Richard pointed out, the space and potentially speed as well. Once this is a foul, it's a misconduct for stopping a promising attack.
All right, Richard, I'm going to bring it back to you. Richard, if I told you this would have been the player's second caution, does that change your decision?
No, I still think it takes away the attacker's opportunity to play the ball in a fair manner.
Okay. Richard, how about you? Or sorry, Achal, how about you?
Yeah, I'll have something similar because this is something that can be managed. So once you've like, yeah, same what Richard said for me as well.
So just to be clear, you said this can or cannot be managed.
Cannot, yeah, because it's a stopping the promising attack offense. So
okay, so something I want to throw at you here. All right, Achal, start with you. Is there full control of the ball likelihood, in your opinion?
No.
Does that now alter your decision?
Well, it brings it it doesn't alter it, but it makes me think more. But
okay. Richard, what's your thoughts after hearing that?
I mean, I definitely think it's something to keep in mind. But with there only being the one other guy there to challenge, and he has two other options, while still going forward full speed, before he's taken down, I think it's still. I mean, it's to me, it's close to even potential dog. So had he been in more control,
okay.
And so I think for me, with just the one defender there, I think they both have an opportunity to it. He's also got two attackers along with him and plenty of space to go in, and not too much behind him. I still think this is definitely a tactical foul. I can see where it's a little more borderline because there is a good opportunity for Gray to win the ball as well. But I think that foul also takes Red's opportunity away to make the same play.
So, Richard, one last question. Where is the ball going on this touch by Red?
Going towards the corner.
Is that really promising when we go and play to the corner?
I mean, in my opinion, I mean, if he's going towards the corner, it's less likely. But I think if he's going towards the middle, I think you have much more of a dog situation. But I think also, has that player not fouled him, he also has a player standing on the other side of the 18 wide open for a ball that can be easily played across.
Yeah, but to your point, the ball's going to the corner flag and there's a defender here.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make it a part of the equation or no?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes it a part. But I still feel just that the only one defender there, and both have the opportunity to make a play on it. He's the only person left that keeps him from being able to go to goal.
Right, but that's more for Dogso. What about the fact that this is Spa? There's a heavy touch away from goal, and there's a covering defender.
So you're saying, like, because that defender's there and the touch is kind of heavy, that he doesn't necessarily have the control, you don't think it should be quite the level of Spa?
I don't know. Achal, what do you think? After we're hearing what I just said, playing devil's advocate.
uh, uh, well, I still think that uh, uh, it in his head when the player committed the foul, he definitely knew what the equation was. Like and the nature of the foul, like why he did that foul was because he knew that it was potentially a 3v2 situation. Uh, uh, and he thought that it was a promising attack. I think that once the foul is at the point the potential foul is committed, uh, uh, white and red probably have equal chances of getting to the ball. But again, if red does get it first, then they have a really good scoring opportunity, given that, as Richard pointed, there is an open player for red on the far side of the field that's moving in.
So here's where I am on this. Look, the referee on the day, second caution, sent the player off. I can, with a good conversation, support this. But for me, there are mixed considerations here for Spa. I'm hearing he might be able to get the ball. This defender might be getting to the ball. The ball's away from the corner flag. I'm hearing a lot of mixed considerations. And one thing I want us to be clear is that if we're going to send a player off for a second caution, it has to be crystal clear. And for me on this one, I can support it, but because there's mixed considerations for Spa, I think we can live with just a simple foul here. And for me, again, I can support it, but I would prefer that. If you have a question about this, because I know it's controversial, please, at the end, we can have a discussion. But for now, I want to move on to our next clip. Okay? All right. Shannon, Ernie, this is going to be you. Ernie, let me play the clip.
All right.
Whoever is not on mute, please mute yourself.
It's like this.
Okay, Ernie, we'll play it one last time and let's see what the crowd thinks, Ernie. All right, Ernie, what's your thoughts?
All right. So what do we see the referee doing right at that last moment? Unmute yourself, Matt Smith. Tell me what you saw there.
He looks like he's coming in hard. He's reaching for his back pocket and he's just giving him a card there.
He's just going to give him a card there. All right. Reaching in his back pocket. What do we normally have in our back pocket?
Red card.
Okay, Matt. So looking at the keeper's position when he makes contact, where is the keeper at on this?
To me, it looks like, I mean, obviously he's coming outside the box there, but it looks like his force is low. I can't really get a good look at that right leg, how far it's coming up. Yeah, his right leg's up a little bit, but that initial force looked like it was fairly low, in my opinion.
All right, so we have contact outside the penalty area. What's your decision on that? And tell me why.
I would like to see the clip one more time just because it's a little blurry.
All right, keep watching. Your thoughts?
I mean, it looks like he's going for an attempt at the ball. Me personally, I don't know if I have straight red there.
All right, so that's a good point.
I have yellow card here. I have a hard yellow. We're spotting the ball right outside the 18. He's getting his free kick. The goalkeeper's getting a very, very hard warning from me.
Get ready to stop it, Mark, right now. So do you think that this keeper, after making that contact, yes, back it up a little bit more. Do you think this player has a goal-scoring opportunity? Take the keeper out of the equation. There's no contact, no challenge. Do you think this green player has an opportunity to score or take a shot on goal?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So if we're not inside the penalty area and we have a potential foul outside the penalty area with all the criteria, ball moving in direction, defenders, we could argue that you have a defender parallel. Would you agree?
Yes, I would say yes. Your defender right there on the side, he's matching him with his speed. He's right there parallel to him at the 18. Yes.
All right, Robert Leonard, unmute yourself. Tell me what you have in this scenario.
So as Matt said, the goalkeeper, the contact is outside the penalty area. So I wouldn't downgrade this to yellow card. I would have a red card, dog so. And as you mentioned, the only other defender that we can see is parallel to the player at the point of contact. So there's a wide open net, which increases our want or our need for a red card in this situation.
All right, so back it up towards the beginning of play, and I want to show something else. And I'm going to ask somebody else on this. Colin Ashley, unmute yourself. Stop it right here. All right, so at the initial part of that play, the referee was in a real good position, probably right there at midfield, and the ball was inside the center circle. So I want you to watch for the first 10 steps the referee makes and tell me what you think of his, let's call it a sense of urgency on this. Because if I'm looking at this play and I'm seeing that through ball going forward, look at his movement. Players were increasingly moving away from him. So, Colin, how would you, because you're a referee coach, how would you tell that referee what he might consider when he sees a play like this materializing, and what should he do instead of what you see here?
So if you actually stop it right when the initial player gets the ball and turns, I think right here, before he passes it, recognizing that he has no pressure on his back going into the attacking part of the middle third, assume he's going to turn and play a ball to one of his strikers or start dribbling quickly. So a 10-yard sprint, assuming that's going to happen to the end of the center circle. And then as soon as that ball is played in, you've got to be just on your horse getting there, anticipating that there's going to be a dog so or penalty area decision.
And I think that's what I would suggest to this referee. There's a sense of urgency, especially in that area. That's that middle third. He should have probably been anticipating green with the ball and began that a little bit earlier instead of waiting, because he sees a clear, unchallenged player on the green team about to move the ball forward. That says, get on your horse, get through that middle third. All right, let's circle back to you, Matt. That's good comment on both of you two guys. Matt, you got any change in your decision on the sanction here?
I think this is more of a real game time decision for me personally. I would like to be there. Like Colin said, if I can get myself in a better position, I can see how much of this the keeper's actually getting. I think Rob makes an absolutely fair point with bringing up the fact that it's outside the penalty area. That keeper's coming out, making himself a player. So when he does that, I can't really save him much more. So I can see red card for here. But again, depending on the severity of it, if I can sell a yellow card, I might. Just depending on what the game needs at the time.
Okay. I hear you, and I can appreciate that, but let's just remember the laws of the game are kind of clear and concise. And here's what I think a lot of us referees, we always want to try to keep a player in. We don't want to send somebody off. We don't determine a send-off. The laws determine the send-off, and the player's action determine the send-off. In this, I don't think we have any question about what this is. It's outside the penalty area. This player still has an opportunity. The ball's moving in the direction. There's not a defender that could challenge an easy shot on goal here with an open net. Had the keeper not been there, he's just going to tap it right on in the back of the net. This is a clear send-off for a dog so. Anybody have any questions about that? Anybody have any difference of opinions? I'd love to hear it. All right, thank you.
Ernie, good stuff. One thing I want to leave everybody with is this. The goalkeeper is the one committing the foul. There is an unoccupied goal there. When you have an unoccupied goal and a foul occurs, the chances for dog-so increase. Let me repeat that. Unoccupied goal, chances for dog-so increase. I just want to leave you with that. Okay. All right, Shannon, this one's yours. Let's take a look at this from a Charlotte Eagles game. And again, we realize that this is a little bit blurry when we go and get close up in there, but I think you can get the idea of what type of challenge this is. So let's watch that replay again, even though it is blurry. All right, Shannon, all yours.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and utilize the chat on this. Let me know what you have here. Foul, foul, and misconduct. And if you have a misconduct, is it a caution or a send off? All right, I'm seeing foul yellow card several times, and I've also got foul red card for violent conduct. Good. So, John O, foul, you can't tell if there isn't much force. That's a really good consideration, right? We're looking at force. Good. Jordan, foul, minimal, yellow card. Good. Jordan, I like your thought process. Let's go ahead and mute yourself. Tell me a little bit about your decision for foul, minimum, yellow card.
Yeah, I just think it's a clear, no matter how blurry this is. I mean, we actually see two contacts above the shoulder to what appears to be the side of the head. It, to me, looks very unnecessary. I mean, it's not really shielding. It's not really bracing for impact. It seems like a swing. I see a clear swing both times by the arm. The force doesn't seem super high here, but it's kind of hard to tell from far away. And it doesn't look like the elbow. It looks like either the hand or kind of the forearm.
To be very definitive for me here, what makes this a caution for you, looking at it from what we have? And what are we missing for the send-off? Or vice versa, what elevates this for a send-off for you? And what would you have to have for this to be a caution?
So minimum, I mean, the swing and it being above the shoulder is making it minimum yellow card for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think personally watching the way the player goes down, and it's twice, it feels violent conduct to me. I guess what would not elevate it? I mean, I guess just going by the laws, if the force is negligible is kind of what downgrades it, which is why I'm leaning red card, because the force does not seem negligible. I mean, there's a clear swinging motion of the arm, and even that forearm, I mean, that's mostly like a hard surface to the soft tissue of the face.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Connor Gallagher, go ahead and unmute yourself. You have foul yellow card. Do you agree with Jordan?
Yes, ma'am, I do agree with Jordan. As I can see from what is shown, just the minimum of his arm going above the shoulder and creating contact with his face 2 times in that scenario, I agree with the yellow card being presented to that player.
All right, good. And then Sean Tahini, will you go ahead and unmute yourself? I see you have red card, violent conduct. How does this elevate for you?
Hey, Shannon, can you hear me?
I can.
Hey, so obviously this video is poor, so we don't have, the hardest thing for me here is evidence. It's really tough with this blurry to get absolute clear evidence. But I think the purpose of this clip, or what we're trying to show here, is that that's not a soccer play. He's swinging back. He's not playing the ball here. He's intentionally using his hand, his elbow as a weapon, probably his left elbow and right hand, to strike the player in the face. So I have violent conduct here.
Good, good. So I think all of you guys have a lot of really good considerations here. Yes, this is very far away, and yes, this is blurry, but we can tell that the arm is above the shoulder, and that is not a soccer move, right? And he actually pulls back. He gets contact twice. So Mark, go ahead and stop it at the first contact. So I want you guys to notice the referee's position here. This play develops quickly, but as it transitions and we lose line of sight between the players and the angle, we're going to need to make that sprint with more urgency to get in position initially. And then Mark, go ahead and play it through as contact continues. So we're still walking over. What message does that send? Right? So go ahead, Sean. What message does that send if we're just walking over to this?
It's not giving the, it's giving the message that this is acceptable on the field. It's not expecting a retaliation from either the player that got struck or the teammates of the player who might come in to protect him. So it's giving, I didn't see it properly, to be honest with you.
Right. And I think that that's one of the biggest keys here is as the initial contact is made, I think the referee gets a little bit surprised. He's potentially screened by the red player. So I think having some urgency to get that angle and then being able to see clearly is what's going to get you that initial contact. So maybe we can prevent the end result here. But I agree with all of your considerations that this is at minimum a yellow card. This cannot be managed. We have contact above the shoulder, likely making contact with the face. So it's difficult to tell force or if his elbow is bent or if his arm is straight. Sometimes that can change force here, but this is at minimum a caution. And if we were closer, we could be a little bit more definitive here, but I have no problem with the send off for violent conduct here. Thank you guys.
Excellent discussion there. Great stuff, Shannon. All right, Big Ern, back on the mic here, Ernie. Let's see what we got here, and then we'll see what the crowd thinks. One last time, Big Ern.
All right, so what do we see here? Let's just go straight back to you, Matt Smith, because I'm curious. Unmute yourself and you tell me what you might see here. Just a foul? No foul?
I mean, that's definitely a foul. If we look into it, force is hard. I'm looking at the point of contact is definitely high. I'm going red card here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think I was a little soft on my last one. I got red card. So
okay. Well, that's good to hear. Let's go to someone. Sullivan Cayola. Unmute yourself. Tell me what you see here with play and the speed of play, and then the last minute challenge.
Okay, for me, what I see is White's coming in with a lot of speed. He takes a big touch, loses the ball, and for me, it's studs as the mode with the high point of contact. And for me, and he's leaving the ground. For me, I'm gonna give a red card here.
You're going to give a red card there.
Yeah.
Do we have a player? There's a lot of things in this that makes it real simple for all of us. I don't think there's anyone, well, maybe there is. If you have a yellow card and you want to try to manage this, put it in the chat so I can certainly address you. We have so many things that make it clear and obvious on this play because we have a locked leg, we have speed, we have the ball we have the leg, the point of contact well above the ball, closer to the knee, and we have a player that pretty much does a somersault here. And of course, then we have three shocked coaches that the referee, watch it till the end right here, Oh, look at this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you have what? A red card? Does anyone have something other than a red card on this play right here? I think this is clear cut. We don't have any doubt about this play, the action this player committed, and there's no doubt this is going to have to be a send-off. Now, my question is, who has a violent conduct send-off versus a serious foul play send-off? Anybody have a violent conduct? Was a ball involved in this one? It is. It is involved. So we have a serious foul play send-off here, but there should not be anybody, and this one's pretty quick, pretty concise. Anybody have any questions about this one? This is not something you have an option on. This is not something that you should try to manage. This is something you want off your field, because rest assured, if you give a yellow card or try to manage this any way out, your game is going to go into the crapper. And we don't want this. You can see this is just early in the second half. The score's 3-0. We can probably assume that White's down and he's just exacting a little revenge on that score. So who knows, but this cannot be acceptable behavior. Send this guy off for this. There's no question about this.
Excellent stuff, Ernie. Felix from Creighton. Can you unmute yourself real quick, Felix?
Yep, I'm driving, but I'm trying my best.
Did you see the play?
Don't call on
Yeah,
me.
I did.
Felix, what did you notice about, and don't get an accident, what did you notice about the play of the white player? He has the ball. Why do you think he goes into the challenge that way?
Oh, he knows he lost the ball.
What created that challenge, if you will? You said he lost the ball. What created the loss? What did he do?
A big touch, like a sloppy touch.
So, Felix, I'm picking on you because I know your playing background. I want all of us to think as players. When we take a heavy touch, what do we do to try to get it back? We lunge for the ball. How does that translate into refereeing? We see a player take a heavy touch, the hairs on the back of our neck better go up and look to see if that player lunges to get it back. So I just wanted to put that little additional coaching point there. Okay. Excellent discussion there, Ernie. Well done. All right. We are going to transition now into some offside decisions. And as we're doing this, I want Caitlin Bork. Caitlin, take yourself off of mute real quick because I have a question for you. Uh-oh, Caitlin. Are you dodging?
Hello?
There you are. All right, Caitlin. Did you have a chance to be on our first session?
I did not.
Oh, you're killing me. Well, we're going to quiz you. Fill in the blank. As an AR, if you're going to be wrong blank. Need to phone a friend?
Yeah, probably.
Pick one.
I'm calling Richard.
No, he's already been picked. Next.
Is Ian on the call? No, Ian's not on either.
See all your friends are. Get out of your friend zone. Let's go.
I can't even look at this.
Nick's laughing at you, so I'm going to pick on Nick for you. Nick, fill in the blank. As an AR, Nick Strednak, if you're going to be wrong how?
With the flag down.
Thank you, Nick. Good. Okay. So to that point, Shannon is going to take a look at this clip here, and we'll see what we think on this one. Okay. All right, let's play it one more time because we got a lot on this one.
And we got a lot of buffering.
We'll get to the replay. All right, Shannon, what do we think?
All right, put it in the chat, guys. Offside or not offside? Or no offense, if you want to say that. Put it in the chat. All right. I think for the most part, we have no offense here. We've got one offside thought process. Paul, will you unmute yourself?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, do that
Paul,
explanation.
first,
Well,
Paul,
I mean,
Paul, are you a referee or an AR?
yes. Not on the game, if that's what you're asking. I was at the game and I heard
Okay.
the discussion afterward, so I don't know if that's fair for me to give a little bit of insight.
No, go ahead. Let's hear it.
So I think whoever's freezing it is freezing it on the touch of number 9, who's the player in the middle, kind of to the middle third, right here. And the AR has a question about whether or not he touches or not, because the far left green player who ultimately receives the ball and scores is probably not in an offside position at the initial kick. But if green here touches the ball, green has moved into possibly has moved into an offside position, and I think that's what the AR recognized if there's a touch by green. And so why the delay happens is because the AR it's very difficult for them to see through a couple of players on the far side of the field if there's been a touch by the attacker. So I think once they communicate that, and what the referee here is signaling is that it was the first touch that it was offside. And I would say as a spectator on the field, it was pretty confusing, but ultimately the team did get it right.
Great. Jordan, I see you have your hand up. What do you have to add to this?
Well, whoever's freezing it was also freezing it at that point where it number 9 sticks his foot out and it goes either under his foot or deflects off his foot. But if you freeze it right there, we have this just speaking from an AR perspective, if you freeze it right there, we have the very big benefit of having a bright white line there at the top of the penalty area. And to me here, I see this central defender at the corner of the arc, what appears to be, and it's kind of blurry, obviously, but standing on and potentially part of his body, maybe even behind that white line. And number 11, his one foot is astride outside the penalty area, and the 1 foot looks like maybe it is also on or slightly over the 18. So I just thought, use your landmarks is always an advisable thing when you're on the line. And, for me, when we freeze it, it's obviously a lot easier because we get to stop it and see where they're standing relative to the 18. But
okay, so right here, Paul, what do you have? I mean, Jordan, what do you have?
this still looks no offside to me, or at least, without VAR way too close to pop the flag. I mean, it's
Jordan, we're not going to be using VAR in our games.
I know. That was tongue in cheek. I'm just saying, to me, there's no way I can call this live or even freezing it with the video to call it offside. So for me, it's still no offense.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would agree here that there's a lot to unpack with this clip, especially with this first offside decision. So if there is no touch by the green player, then he's clearly in an onside position. It's the second touch that is making it a little bit closer. And in our situation, right, with our angle, we don't necessarily have all of the tools to be able to say for sure. The only thing we can say for sure is this is pretty darn close. And this is a CMI or a KMI. And it ends up pulling a ball out of the back of the net. So what I do want to also point out here is the position of the AR. Go ahead, Mark. So at the time that the decision was made, the AR was square to the field, ready for the decision. And he did the correct thing, which is to keep his flag down and let it play out. I'm assuming, did you guys have comms?
Nick Strednak, unmute yourself. Talk us through if there was communication on this.
There was.
Tell us about it.
So at the beginning of the plays happening, this ball gets kicked in. I see number 9 very clearly touches the ball. And so at this time, Oz is saying, this, he said on the first is good. I need help. And I said, there is a touch, there is a touch. And so at this time, when the ball is finished, is when we finished our communication of there is a touch, is the offsides still on the touch? At which point the assistant referee has said, if there's a touch, then he's offsides, and that's why the flag had gone up.
Good. I think that that's great communication. I would just make sure that we add to that this is very close. So like Mark Kedlesick said, if it is close and we're unsure, then we have to keep that flag down. This is a CMI, any way we put it, especially if we have to bring the ball out of the back of the net. I do want us to follow this through. Can you go to that very last decision where he passes the ball in? I want to point out that if we're still having this communication, no, keep going past that. If we have not yet put our flag up right here, and we still have to make this this determination, the AR needs to continue to run while they're making this decision and be prepared to square up to make that final call as the ball goes in the back of the net when he passes the ball over. So we can't hesitate. We're either putting the flag up or we have to keep running. Okay?
Hey, Shannon, if I may.
Yes.
So I was actually the AR who called that offside.
Mm-hmm.
And as Nick said, we were on comms, and he told me that there was a touch by 9. I had his left foot past the line for the 18-yard area, the penalty area, sorry, and I had the second to last defender on that line. So that's why when he told me that there was a touch after the play ended, I put my flag up.
Okay, good. But for all of those of us who might not have comms or have the communication occur so succinctly, the AR needs to continue to move until the decision is made.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And Osman, I just want to offer, if it's this close, keep it down. I mean, what was he off by? Maybe his toes? I mean, this is
it was just barely his foot, yeah.
So let's give the benefit to attacking soccer. Jordan doesn't have his VAR there. We don't have the technology lines. This is so microscopic. I'm not saying cheat, but this is so microscopic. I'd rather see the flag down here. Okay?
Understood.
Gotcha. All right, Big Earn. Let's go back to Tobacco Road here. Here we go.
But that was a good explanation, Oz.
Yes.
All right, so watch this, and I want you to look at all things involved. Time of kick, position of the attacking player, position of the second last defender, and more critically for all of us, position of the assistant referee. So play it through one more time full, then you guys just try to glance at all that, then I'll stop it a couple of times and we'll go from there. Okay, Mark, next time it hits his head, please stop it.
You got it, Big Earn.
Right there. All right, so let's go. Who's my assistant referees? Well, we all were at one point in time. So, Mr. Yakut, unmute yourself.
Hi there, how are you?
Good, good, good. Tell me, is that my screen that's blocking it right now? Okay, here we go. At the time the ball is headed, do you see an attacker in an offside position?
I see it's tight. It looks like they're both kind of on that 10-yard line. I'm not sure where the left foot of the defender is.
All right, thinking back to the last clip we saw, do you see a toe or do you see more of a silhouette that could be in an offside position?
Definitely more of a silhouette in comparison.
More of a silhouette, something that's a little easier for us to see, am I right?
For sure.
And so when we're assistant referees, it's always good when we have plays like this in our mind. We know black is defense. We know white or gray is attacking. So we have these split decisions to make. So I'm in my head going black, 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 black. And if all of a sudden white is there, and then I simultaneously recognize when that header or that kick goes, then if white was the last color I said, because I'm using those colors multiple times when I have these tight. Look at that row. Within a 2-yard stretch right there, you've got 9 bodies minimum. And they're transitioning forward and backing, trying to step each other off, trying to make sure that they get the advantage. because the referee is going to acknowledge that. Now, unmute yourself, Mr. Barber. If you were standing behind that assistant referee, what guidance might you give that assistant referee right now?
Well, first thing I would say, were you in line with the second last defender? And you
That's
say
perfect.
no.
That's the answer would be no. If you can all see this, this is where lateral movement and speed has to come into play when we're assistant referee at a match like this. Tobacco Road by itself is a name synonymous to North Carolina for soccer. You've got to be ready to go. You've got to be moving on your toes, leaning forward and going. That lateral movement in this point in time is critical. This assistant referee is about 2 as a minimum off the position he should be in. Although luckily he gets it right because the second to the last defender is forward enough to where the visual part he can see that white player. So on this, I think it's pretty clear as well. Go ahead and follow through on this, Mark. Let's watch it all the way through again. And if you notice the assistant referee over there, he wasn't doing the lateral movement. This would have been an ideal time. We had a set piece. That's that heightened focus. We've got to be getting into that. And it's what we want to do. He got the call right. There's no doubt in my mind he got the call right, but he's out of position. And he's not doing the right method for movement for this type of situation. Now, this is a 1-1 score. We're in the last 20 minutes of the match, and we have what's considered a CMI or a KMI because we're pulling something out of the net. Correctly done so. Anybody have any questions about this? Jonathan, got something to add?
Let's see. Yeah, just about the assistant referee's movement, that he needs to be anticipating that run and not be. If he was, I don't know if he was watching the kick or not. His focus should be on the second to last and show urgency since this is in the offensive third of the field.
So
all right,
good observations, Ernie and John. Here's one thing I want to just put a bow on the show with this. Watch the movement of the AR and watch a hesitation.
Yep. Kind of goes upright.
He goes upright when the attacker heads the ball. You know what that tells me? He's ball watching.
Exactly. Good point.
Okay.
Right.
So just a little observation I have there. But Ernie and John, excellent stuff. Okay. Thank you, Big Ern. Thank you, John, and everybody else on that one. All right, let's watch this one because this one's going to generate some discussion. Okay, I'll play it again. And then one last time on the replay. All right, we're going to launch a poll with this one. Let's see what everybody thinks here. Is this offside or not? Go. We can get just another 5 more responses for those of you who haven't responded yet. One more, please. Don't be afraid. It's anonymous. Cliff's not going to take assignments away. Oh, we actually got 2 out of that. 3. Love it. We're almost at a 50-50 split here. Majority of you think this is offside, where the others do not. We need to talk about this one. Tim from New Jersey, who's now in Davidson. What did you vote?
I had offside, Mark.
Why?
Let's see. I have to close out the poll here. I have this player, the white player, number 11, making a clear action, which I think interferes with the opponent's ability to play the ball. Because when this ball is initially played, he takes about 2 steps towards that ball, which is played, which I think impacts the black defenders in their defensive actions that would has made them remain more centrally than they would have gone to go challenge for that ball. And going along with that, the proximity to the ball from that attacker, number 11, I think really just makes it so that he's interfering with the opponent, and I have an offside offense here, provided that he's in an offside position.
So, Tim, just to be clear, you said the defender, number 16, is impacted by number whatever this player is, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This player is impacted. Is that what you're telling me?
I think so, yeah.
All right, watch what he does. Where's he run?
To the goal.
Okay, so is he really impacted by that player by running to the goal?
Well, I think part of it is that because that attacker is there, he doesn't really have the opportunity to go out wide to make a play, because he would have time to go out there to make an opportunity to cut the angle. And I think his choice is influenced by the presence of the attacker there.
Okay, interesting. All right. Let's go with Mr. MJ Tahini. I know you've been doing a lot of whistles lately, but what's your thoughts on this, MJ? Is there an offside offense?
I agree with everything Tim said. My only other consideration was actually impacting on the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper more likely would have come out and cut the angle down had the 11 not been so close to the ball.
Okay.
So I do agree that it is offside, impacting the defense's ability to play the ball.
Colin Ashley, you're a national AR. Help me.
So I have no offense. Starting with the defenders, like everybody except the closest player, which is 16, I believe, just kind of stops. That's their decision. That's their fault. We've been told since we were 6 years old, play to the whistle. It's not because of the attacker's movement that they do that, or him going to the ball. That's just their decision to me. So I discount them, and number 16 always was moving towards the goal, didn't change his direction to go to the ball, to the offside player. So to me, the offside player didn't impact his movement or his decisions. And the goalkeeper always was coming across the goal. He showed no signs of coming to get the ball. He showed no decision other than to come to his near post. And again, he puts his arm up, but that's his choice to try to get a call from the referee. That's not the fault of the attacker in an offside position. So I have no offense.
Colin, if you were the AR on this side across the field, what would you have done? And you're wearing comms.
So as the ball's played, I would say position. If I have his number, I'd give it. If I don't, I'd say a description. It looks like he's got red shoes, maybe. And I would then, as soon as the ball goes in the goal, I'd say good goal. If I'm 110% sure that there's no impact, since it is on the other side, I would, as the ball goes in, when the ball goes in the goal, I would say I had number 11 in an offside position, no impact for me.
Just real quick, why the need to say position?
That's only if I'm not sure. If I'm 100% sure, I'm probably not saying anything until the ball goes in the goal to confirm that the referee is on the same page.
So I'm hearing you're saying position if you're not sure.
Correct. If I'm sure, I'm probably not saying anything.
All right. So my only advice to you would be this. First of all, this is not an offside offense. This is not. Look at the actions of number 11. He puts his hands behind his back saying, I don't want to be involved. Of course, the players are putting their arms up. They do that when the players are onside. So don't use that as the way to say the players are impacted. The only thing I would offer to what Colin said is when you say position and you're not sure, I think that even brings more doubt if you're hearing that as a referee. So, Colin, say nothing, let it play through. The goal is scored. I have position for number 11, but no impact. I have a good goal. And that's all the information you need to do. By saying position there, it's just overkill. What are your thoughts?
I agree. Because the player is so much in isolation, the assistant referee really just needs to have this decision.
Yeah. And look, the biggest thing on this one, the flag went up on this. You need, as ARs, the discipline to go and let this play out. And by the way, the more further away it's away from the goal, the more discipline you can have if you have one potential player on and one potential player off. So ARs, have discipline when the ball's played and one player is potentially off, the other is on. And then simply when the ball is scored, relay the information if you have mics. If you don't, stand at attention, give your opinion to the referee if you don't have mics, and tell them your opinion on the goal. Luckily on this one, the referee did not just prematurely blow his whistle. He let the play out. He sees the flag go up. He goes over there, has a conversation, and we correctly award a goal. So on this one, no offside offense. All right, we're going to now transition into some penalty kicks. So Shannon, we're going to start with you. We've got 10 minutes, so let's move at a pretty brisk pace here. MJ, we'll answer your question at the end.
Yeah.
One last time, Shannon, and we'll see what people think. All right, Shannon, all yours.
All right, good. So we're gonna make this one pretty quick. NJ, so you're already teed up here. What did you think of the contact?
Hey, Shannon. So the contact seems to be low, which makes the attacker kind of go parallel. Personally, watching this video, I do not have enough evidence here for a foul, because I even see kind of the attacker setting up for what seems like an aerial challenge with this further bicycle scissor kick, if you want to say it. So what I'm seeing from this video, I do not have enough for a penalty decision.
MJ, at the time of the contact, in what way was the blue defender moving? I'm sorry, the blue attacker moving. Check out the
It looked
movement.
to me like his backwards into the attacker setting up for a scissor kick.
Who do you
Into
think
the defender,
initiated?
sorry.
Okay, who do you think initiated
Yeah,
the contact here? Do you think blue initiated contact or white?
I think blue's more initiating the contact, but that's also me as a defender player, and I know I got to get that out of my game. Being a center back, I'm coming to clear that ball. But I do have the attacker initiating the contact here.
Okay. So, Mark, can you go ahead and pull it back so here, stop here. Bring it back a little bit.
3 steps.
Yeah. So let's look at where the white player comes from as they're going to make this challenge. The further away they are, the more they're going to be making a significant difference in terms of who is initiating the contact in this. And you can see that he comes even further over the player. So those are some things to consider in who is initiating contact during this play. And then how does this impact the game? Just this play. Was the ball coming into the zone? Would Blue have had the ability to even play this had White not come into him?
I definitely would say it's a 50-50 challenge. So yes, he probably would have had an opportunity.
Yeah. Does anyone else have a differing opinion than MJ or any support?
I was a center back pretty much my whole life too, and I gotta admit that if I go in a tackle like that, I think I'm risking a penalty pretty easily here, jumping in someone's back with that much velocity. I think, yeah.
Yeah. And I think every defender, yeah, I like that, Felix. That's great. I think every defender here wants to have this challenge, but we need to look at really who's initiating that contact. Yes, Blue has every opportunity. If he wants to set up for a bicycle kick, he can. But look at those 3 big steps that White takes. And then when he leaves the ground, he's coming more at an angle than Blue is. So that would, in fact, be a penalty kick. But I do like the considerations that both of you guys put forward.
Good stuff there, Shannon. And we're going to move quick here on this one here. All right, let's take a look. Okay, we're going to watch one more time. Okay. Otis Moss, good to see you, my friend. What's your decision on this?
Mark is stopping right at the point of contact.
Oh,
no.
You're like a true regional referee coach.
Okay, I see it now. I got it. It is Orange get the ball first. So PK look like it's gonna be going through. So Doxa look like from my angle.
So your restart's a PK.
No, oh no, it's a direct free kicks spot. Doxa.
What color?
Red.
Thank you, sir. Rich Garino, the referee gave a PK yellow card. Why do we get it wrong?
Unfortunately, I can't see lines quite well. I'm not positioning.
Well, you know what? I don't think the referee could either. Why is that?
Well, he didn't match the player intensity in his proximity.
What do you mean by that, Rich? Build on that, please.
Well, to keep the ball's receding away from the referee, that's the first indicator that he's not maintaining pace.
Focus on the referee now, Rich, and tell me how he can get this next time.
Now he needs to haul. I mean, he needs to, as soon as that breakaway occurs, he needs to be on his horse.
So to be fair, he's moving.
No,
I don't think anybody can sprint like this on this call.
Yeah, but it was a reaction play instead of anticipation play.
What does that mean?
There was a delay in his response to the play.
Very good. Look here, everybody. If you watch the referee, we have a 50-50 ball, and he is thinking this is a very easy play for the defender to get on. We're taking things for granted. Look at what this attacker's doing. She's pressuring the ball. Anytime we have pressure on the ball, we got to go. The referee does not. He has to rely on sprinting. He takes the picture too late, and he gives an incorrect decision. So unfortunately, this all starts because we are too lackadaisical in the center circle. just like Ernie was talking about in his dog so clip. We've got to be more urgent here and not reactive. Achal will answer your question at the end. All right, two last things I want to end with. Deal with holding offenses inside the penalty area. Here's the first one. Okay, we'll play one more time, and I'm going to show you a second one. And then the second one I want to show is this one. Okay, we'll play it one more time. All right. Quick opinion, if I can, from on this one here, please. Matthew Fry. Do you have a penalty on either of these? Or do you have a penalty on one and not the other? Or do you have a penalty on both?
I missed the first one. I saw the second one. I missed the first one.
All right, let's talk about the second one. You have a penalty?
It was kind of hard to see whether or not he was grabbing him. It looks like he might be. Looks like he might be grabbing him. So
Okay.
if
Does
he
that automatically make it an offense?
no.
Okay.
You know,
So are you calling a penalty here?
personally, I wouldn't, just because it kind of looks like they're both using their arms. It doesn't look like it really affected the attacker that much. So I personally would say no.
All right, you used
Because-
what was the last sentence you said that wasn't doing what?
That what the defender was doing didn't look like it was really affecting how he was moving. He was still moving towards the ball, and the keeper just got there first.
Okay.
So
All right, I like it.
that's what I would
All
say.
right. So no offense for you. Leandre?
No penalty. No
Thank
penalty.
you. Leandre, if you would, penalty on either of these, one of these, both of these, none of these, what?
The second one I do not. The first one, I'm still deciding completely. So
Okay,
yes, he gets grabbed.
What's holding you up here?
Yes, he gets grabbed, and he does have a chance. But he still has a chance to play the ball. But it does affect his play. And you can clearly tell the attacker does get pulled back, and it clearly affects him.
I want to introduce.
But there is a defender there, and that's why.
Leandre, I want to introduce a word.
That's why I'm kind of.
Can you hear me? I want to introduce a word.
Yes.
The word is impact. Does this defender's actions impact him and his next phase of play?
Yes, it does.
Okay. How about the second one?
It just froze in the middle of the play.
We've only watched it 25 times, Leandre.
Can you
Sorry.
rewind it one more time?
Oh my goodness. What kind of dial up you using in Charlotte there?
I don't think the second one impacts.
All right. Here's what I want to leave everybody with tonight. When we have penalty area incidents involving holding, think to yourself, what impact does it have on the play? And that's all I'm going to leave you with. We're not going to say which one's right, which one's wrong, but I want us to think about what is the impact that hold has on the play. William, please mute yourself. Okay, so that's what I want to leave us with tonight. All right, I'm going to put recording